my name is Jeff Swot. I'm the police chief for the city of Elgin. I've been with the city of Elgin for 18 years now and was hired and went on the patrol shift as every officer does. Then immediately went into the resident officer program where I spent 5 years working with the community, the South Country Knolls neighborhood. And from there I really got a good understanding of what it was like to solve problems, identify problems with the neighborhood groups. So I was in the resident officer program for about 5 years, was ultimately promoted to sergeant and then lieutenant. Took over the gang and drug unit for the city of Elgin, and from there was promoted to deputy chief about 4 years ago and to police chief 3 months ago now. The police department is made up of 190 members. 1 police chief, obviously, 2 deputy chiefs. There are 7 lieutenants and 22 sergeants. Of the remaining 150 or so, the vast majority of those are in the patrol division. These are the officers in uniform driving the black and white squad cars. So those are our patrol officers. There's also about 40 or so that are within our investigations, and then also we have quite a bit that do our gang unit and are involved in the drug unit as well. The Elgin Police Department is a big police department, and it has 190 members, and because of that we have a variety of opportunities that officers can get involved in. We have a resident officer program, which is the officers living in the neighborhoods, getting to know the community, getting to know their neighbors, and actually identifying and solving problems. We have our canine unit, which is the dogs, the officers who have the canines out in their cars with them. We use them for identifying drugs, identifying weapons. They can track, so when we have missing children, we can use them to track them as well. So we use them for a variety of reasons. We have officers assigned to the schools to work in conjunction with U46 to assist them in making sure we have safe schools and identifying problems early and solving them. We also have a 10-member gang unit, which is 10 officers who just work identifying gang members and tracking gang members, where they live, where they hang out, what cars they drive, what types of crimes they're involved in, so that when something happens, we'll be able to quickly identify potential suspects and then work to get to a successful conclusion with the type of crime that they're involved in. Elgin also has its own tactical response team. It's commonly referred to as a SWAT team. It's 25 members, and they are used for high-risk search warrants. They're also used where we have any type of standoff situation, and it's some of our best officers that are assigned to it. Being that Elgin is a city, we have our share of crime. And one of the nice things is being a police chief, I've never been asked to downplay crime, downplay even gang crime. We recognize that we have that issue, we have that concern, and so we're able to openly talk about it, and that's a big part of solving the problem. With crime, we need help, and the community of Elgin has always been very involved with the police department. And so we spend a lot of time educating the community as to what's going on in their neighborhood, being open and honest about the crimes that are occurring. In fact, we soon will have a whole database that neighborhood groups can log on to identify what types of crimes are going on in their neighborhood. So education, working in conjunction with the neighborhood groups is a big part of what I see as my job and the rest of the command staff, so that the neighborhood groups will know what's going on and ultimately be able to reduce crime by educating people. And I think one of the important things about enforcing crime and being on top of when crime is occurring is recognizing that we have to have another side of it too, and that's with the education and getting involved with youth early. We're never going to wrest our way out of the gang problem. What we really need to do is get involved with the youth early to show them the negative side of gangs. So we spend a lot of time on enforcement, but we also spend a lot of times with youth leadership academies, identifying kids early who are in some of these troubled neighborhoods, but they actually have already shown some leadership. So we work with them to help them along that path. The rope camp, resident officers who identify kids in their neighborhoods, who will bring them up to a spot up in Wisconsin where they can show some more leadership and problem solving and teamwork. So hopefully they can make a stronger bond with their fellow students. We have Kids United program, which is an open gym of sorts, but it's also, we've woven into that some education components so that kids can have fun but also learn and be in a safe environment. So we're going to be out there and we're going to be aggressively going after crime and criminals, but at the same time we're going to spend a lot of time educating the public and working with kids so that we can solve problems rather than just always looking to do the enforcement side. One of our programs that we're very aggressively enforcing this year is Curfew. Curfew is for anybody under 17 years of age. It has to be in Sunday through Thursday, it's 11 o'clock, and Friday and Saturday it's midnight. And so we actually have 2 officers who are till 3 o'clock in the morning work just on curfew violators. And when we do pick up kids who are out past curfew, explain to them the dangers of that. Not only are we going after it because kids who are out late at night are getting involved in problems and potential criminal activity, but they're also many times victims. And with kids that are out past curfew, we recognize that parents have a role in this. So anytime we pick up a child who's out past curfew, we bring in the parent and tell them that you have to be a little bit more vigilant with this. With that, the parent, if they don't take steps to address it and work with us to solve this problem, if it gets to be a routine, the third, fourth time we have a child who's out past curfew and the parents aren't taking steps to address it, we're actually enforcing a parental responsibility ordinance against the parents. And we'll bring parents in front of a judge to explain why they're not taking steps to address the child's behavior. So we're taking an aggressive stance on it because we believe it's really important, and far too often crime is occurring with juveniles out past curfew, and that's why we're really upping our game with the curfew violations. Elgin officers spend a lot of their time, especially in the summer months, really on traffic enforcement. And the whole goal of traffic enforcement really is to change behavior. It's about slowing down traffic, making sure the rules of the road are followed, and there's been some new laws. And so dealing with texting while driving, people who are on the cell phone and not paying attention and not using their turn signals. But obviously we have our roadblocks out there where people who are out driving under the influence of alcohol or not wearing their seatbelt. So we spend a lot of our time on enforcement with traffic, but we recognize that we try to do a lot of it with some high visibility so that we're actually changing behavior, because that's our ultimate goal. If we went an entire year and didn't write a ticket, that would be fine if we didn't have any accidents and people were safe. That's really the ultimate goal, is that people are safe and they're able to commute from one place to another safely. And so we spend a lot of our time on enforcement, but we're really trying to do as much education as we can. Our three core values here at the Elgin Police Department are excellence, professionalism, and dedication. And the residents of Elgin can expect that every time they interact with the Elgin Police Department. We exist because of the community of Elgin, and I want them all to be very confident that they have a very professional organization that recognizes that when we do our best work, it's because they're involved with us. We're identifying problems together, and then we're solving them together. I'm confident that going forward, our relationship will only improve, and the Elgin Police Department is here to serve the community of Elgin, and I'm very happy to be the Elgin Police Chief.